Welcome everyone. Welcome all to the platform of Dr. Kalam India Foundation. This is a platform to give voice to the youth of India. And it was our idea that we were curious to know what the youth of India today thinks about their country. So we just thought of this idea that let them think about what is the biggest challenge India faces and what do they propose should be done about it. And believe me all, we were amazed. We were absolutely amazed to see the kind of responses that children were giving us. They were thinking, so many of them were thinking out of the box, things that we did not, frankly, even expect from children of their age. And so we are absolutely delighted to uh, to have brought all this to this, this individual, this particular forum. And we do hope to keep doing these sessions again so that these children have a place to voice their opinion. And because that I think is really very important, to give opportunities to the students, to the youth of India to voice their opinion. So today's session is the culmination session of this particular season of, if I can say that, of Bharat Meri Nazar Se. We would soon come up with the result declaration date and the related announcements. But this now is the time to welcome you all again for a stimulating, encouraging, and I hope again a revolutionary session of Bharat Meri Nazar Se. I, on behalf of Dr. Kalam India Foundation, welcome you all again. Let us start the show. We have with us Mr. Sudhakar here, who is the president of Dr. Kalam India Foundation. He's also the founder of Champs World School. And it is his, the Dr. Kalam India Foundation is his brainchild. We have Ms. Namrata Bobde over here. Ms. Namrata is an educator, and she is a very dynamic person in the sense that she works all round in the area of education. She's an NEP enthusiast. She is working for the environment. She is a certified parenting coach, and she is basically a proponent of the EQ among students, and this I think is the need of the hour today. So in fact, this sinks in with the platform and the work that we are doing right now, not only the IQ part of it, but also developing, encouraging, and giving voice to the EQ part of the students. So I think what Namrata ma'am is doing is really commendable. I would now hand over the stage to Namrata ma'am and welcome all our judges and introduce us all to them. Namrata ma'am, over to you.
Thank you so much, Shweta ma'am, for that wonderful introduction. So let's start without wasting any more time. We have such eminent judges again with us. Every time there are really few great judges along with us. This time again, the first judge along with us is Ruchira Sharma ma'am. She is currently working with Value Research and Investment Research firm. She is an executive producer. She is responsible for generating video content for them. Prior to this, she has effectively straddled the worlds of quality programming and effective production in TV journalism for about 15 years. Breaking the mold of run-of-the-mill storytelling, she has successfully crafted long-drawn first-person accounts into short, crisp, emotional tales. During her stint at India Today television, she was a recipient of the prestigious Mumbai Press Club 2018 Red Ink Award for Excellence in Journalism for Women Empowerment and Gender Equality, and Best News Producer English. Exchange for Media News Broadcasting Award ENBA 2013. So, Ruchira ma'am, would you kindly say a few words to encourage our participants?
I think there is a slight connection issue. Ma'am, are you there?
Ruchira
Yeah.
ma'am?
Thank you, Namrata ma'am. Very good evening to everyone present here. It's an absolute privilege to be a part of this event, and especially at a time when our country faces a gamut of challenges in every sector. Am I audible now? Okay. So thank you, Namrata ma'am, and a very good evening to everyone present here. It's an absolute privilege to be a part of this event, especially at a time when our country faces a gamut of challenges in every sector, every sphere. I guess it's only apt to ask the students, the torchbearers of our nation, for their views, their understanding of the situation, and their solutions. Because it's the young generation that has the power to change things for the better. And I must say that I've heard the earlier two sessions, and the participants have been really impressive. So here's wishing all the students best of luck. I look forward to knowing what you guys think. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ruchira ma'am. The next eminent judge among us is Swaminathan K. He has joined us from Uganda, East Africa. He is the principal of DPS, that is Delhi Public School International, Kampala, Uganda. He is a well-known educationist with more than 17 years of experience in the school education sector. His passion is teaching. He has started his career as a science teacher in 2004, then continued to grow and excel as a teacher, coordinator, vice principal, and the principal by serving in various schools in Tamil Nadu, India. With the rich experience, joined in DPS International Kampala, Uganda in the year 2016. DPSI is the only CBSE school in Uganda through which the maximum number of Indian students in Uganda are enjoying the rich taste of the Indian education system and its high values. He has been participating in various national, international webinars as a speaker and a resource person, as well as a panelist. He has been recognized and awarded by many prestigious national and international awards by the different organizations. He strongly believes that the capacity to learn is a gift, the ability to learn is a skill, and the willingness to learn is a choice. Degrees don't matter anymore for him. So, Dr. Swaminathan, it's really nice that you are spreading the Indian culture abroad too. A few words from you, sir, please.
Good evening, ma'am. Thank you, Namrata ma'am. I would like to convey my sincere thanks to Shweta ma'am for inviting me for this great session. And thanks to Kalam Foundation also. As we all know, the COVID came like a surprise. It thrown too many challenges which the human community can't even imagine or withstand also. However, everyone went through a lot of changes and still changes are happening. As we all know, the COVID pandemic has taught us that some things which we thought it is very important in our life is meaningless. There are many things which we didn't consider earlier has become as more important nowadays. So changes are in front of us. How soon the changes to be implemented and what kind of changes to be done. It is good to listen from the youngsters. So let us wait for the youngsters' address so that we can motivate them. And one advice to the youngsters, please note that whatever changes, whatever success, it is possible only with the involvement of yourself. Because if you remove the letter U from the word success, there is no success. So involve yourself in it. You will be successful in all your attempts. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, sir. Very well said. And the last but not the least, judge is Miss Mandvi Tripathi, who is currently working as a principal in one of the topmost school in Lucknow. It's the International Public School. She has been in this industry, education industry, for more than 19 years, and she holds the master's degree in psychology. She has also done her MBA as well as BA. She has worked into many renowned brands of education industry such as GD Goenka, Swaroop Educational Foundation, etc. As said, she is currently working in one of the topmost schools in Lucknow. She is also an advisory member of SPA, the Sports Academy Association of India. Her research papers has been published in national as well as international journals. She has been awarded with the Avantika Atal Bihari Vajpayee Sanman in the year 2018 for her excellent contribution in the field of education at Max Muller Bhavan, New Delhi. She has also been awarded with the most dynamic principal by International United Educationists Fraternity and Aesthetics International at Haryana. She is also an active member of Education Quality Foundation of India. She also has, apart from doing all this, she is also a great leader and motivator. Her contribution towards CSR has also been awarded by the Pehel Foundation. She has also written and directed a short movie, Agle Janam Mohe Bitiya Hi Kijo, which was also screened at the Agra Mahotsav. So yes, a multifaceted judge along with us, Miss Manvi. Manvi ma'am, please share a few words.
Thank you so much, ma'am. That was too much to say. But in fact, the only spirit is we all keep on learning. We are lifelong learners, and that is what we should spread across. In respect to today's competition, I think जो आपने इसका नाम रखा है भारत मेरी नजर से, तो I think the only way to change someone's mind is to connect with them from the heart, and that is what you have taken, and that is what you are doing right now. Now, looking at the aspect of children today, we all feel that unless and until we, as educators, the parents, and as well as the children, we don't come together. The school doesn't come together with the parents, and we don't realize the need of the hour, what it is. The things will not going to change. So we have to accept that children are the priority. Change is the reality, and collaboration is the strategy, and that is all. That is why we all are here collaborating together, working together to bring in that change that we want to see in the future generation, that we want to see in the entire system and the country. So all the best, and I give my best wishes to all the participants. I know the winner will be one, but to participate and come onto a platform is more important than winning. So that is why I'm wishing them all of the luck. All of them are winners for me because they are here standing at the platform. And yes, my co-judges with my deep heart, I extend my warm wishes even to the co-judges because they all are extremely talented. And I am there in this platform to learn and see what more I can gain for myself. So I'm pretty selfish that way. So more than giving, I'll earn from here. So that will be my observation. And yes, whatever I have is something good. I'm there to help out and to reach out to people. Thank you so much for calling me as a judge. It is a proud privilege indeed.
Thank you so much, Manvi ma'am. Very aptly said. Yes, participation is much more important than winning, and all the small takeaways. You are also giving some. You will also be sharing some insights of yours. So, Shweta ma'am, shall we start?
Yes, ma'am. Let's begin. Let's just first remind all our participants of the rules, and then we'll start straight away. One small revision I would like to share with the judges. Unfortunately, participant number 4 is not available today. She is not well, and her parents really, they were good enough to contact me and apologize for non-attendance. So we will just mark her absent for today.
Ma'am, Gopika S. Is her name Gopika S?
Right, Gopika S won't be participating. Yeah, we can move forward now, ma'am.
Okay. So, as all the participants might be aware, you have 5 minutes for your presentations. After 4 minutes, 30 seconds, I would ring a buzzer like thing. It would be an indication for you that you have 30 seconds more in your hands. Try to complete within the time limit. So all the best, everyone. Let's start. The first participant is Gayatri Meena from Chinar Public School, Rajasthan. Gayatri Meena.
Yes, ma'am, I'm here.
Are you ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Please start your presentation. I request all the participants to keep their video also on along with the presentation. because we need to see you also along with your presentation.
Yes, ma'am. Is my video is available in the screen?
We can see your
Excuse me.
presentation.
Okay, ma'am.
Gayatri, is it possible for you to keep it in the landscape mode, horizontal?
Excuse, ma'am. Okay. Ma'am, is right now?
Yeah, that's better. Thank you so
That's
much.
better, Gayatri. You can begin your presentation. Good.
Thank you, ma'am.
Gayatri, won't you want to say something with it?
What, ma'am?
Won't you want to say something with it? Tell
Ma'am,
us.
actually, I have made the presentation with my voice only.
But we are unable to hear your voice, beta. We can only see the pictures.
The voice is not coming,
It's
Gayatri. It
better
would be
if you
better.
explain it then.
Right. Just say it live.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah.
Ma'am, wait for a minute. Ma'am, can I start from the beginning?
Yes.
Women are honored, divinity blooms there, and where they are dishonored, all actions remains unfruitful. Good evening. Hope you all like it. And also know after listening this quote, you all get actually the idea about which big problem I am going to talk. Good evening, fun and all present here. I, Gayatri Meena, is here with you all to talk about the most common problem in this world and in this time, that is women's safety. The word safety means being free from harm and risk, and actually to me in today's time the word is not actually appropriate for the girls and the women, because today's time girls and women are actually got harm with the men. They are tied in the heavy bond with cheating, molestation, murder, rape, and etc. Do you all know that India ranked dangerous place for women in India? Is it really great victory? No. According to me, it is not. Every rape victim says, why me? Am I really responsible for the cause that happening to me? If yes, then tell him my mistake. And if no, then what is my mistake? These four words are very easy and short to say, but the meaning that cause is only understanding by the girl who is raped. Women plays lots of roles as a mother, daughter, teacher, grandmother, and many more. Women. Being a woman is not easy, but it's true when you live in India. It is extremely horrible to say that in India, at every 20 minutes, a girl is raped. Not a day goes where you can't see and hear the news and news articles about the women in India At least 5 articles are there about the women's safety and the rape against women are there. It is extremely painful to watch the status of women's safety in India, especially in country with where the woman is honored as stature of goddess. Domestic violence, acid attack, and many more are very common. The wife stays in very abusive relationship because of the fear of society. Female feticide, the girl child are being murdered because they think the girls are the only being falling their reputations, their regressive thinking are killing their daughters. The crime rate against women totally rising in the great extent. Women think twice before stepping out their houses in the daytime also. This is unfortunately the sad reality of our country. This a 8 month old, a 1 year old, a 2 year old. I don't think any girl is safe in the country, and this is the very sad reality of our country. If I feel our country want to give the big messages to the masses, if you will do actually be hang, if you will do really heinous with the women, and till the time the message is not there, you can't do anything or the world is not changed. People are not the actually not taking the actions for the peoples. I think government should take up action to the principle or a really heinous rules for that will makes them fear and they start 100 times before they do anything against the woman. And it's only starting at 2021 and there are the extremely high rated 63% rises against the woman. We must not put the blame on the woman and not ask them to be extra careful. Instead of we ask the men to change their thinking and be safer place for women in the world. Thank you, ma'am.
थैंक यू गायत्री, आपने बहुत दिल से प्रेजेंटेशन बनाई है, स्पेशली जब आप इम्प्रॉम्प्टू बोल रही थी अब। तो एक बात बताइए गायत्री, आप कौन सी क्लास में हैं?
मैम 11th में।
ओके गायत्री। मांडवी मैम, आप कुछ कहना चाहेंगी गायत्री से, उसको कुछ एडवाइस देना चाहें या आपके कोई कमेंट्स?
See, whatever children think and their vision about what she told about the woman is indeed leaving us all speechless and leaves us to again think on the lines that where are we going wrong? Is it something that we are really missing in the society, that our children of today are so full of fear and they are thinking on the lines which at this tender age they should not be? But there's, yes, on the secondary part, they are really aware of what's happening in the society is also so good that they are aware. They know that if something wrong happens, they know the different. I think, Gayatri, there is a small suggestion. Whenever you do this kind of a presentation, you spoke all about the negatives, but there are certain positive aspects too. The policies, the women helpline numbers, other portals that have been opened to protect the women's and the heinous crime that are happening against them. So that should have been a part of the presentation. So it would have been complete in a sense that yes, you have thrown your lights on what is happening in the society today, but then you have equally made the people aware that how to stand, raise their voice and reach to the correct people, approach the correct people at the time of necessity. So wonderful, well spoken, Gayatri, and you have a long way to go. All the best. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
So our next participant is Ishita Dingari from JSS Private School, UAE. Ishita Dingari. Ishita? Ishita
Yes,
Dingari
ma'am.
from UAE. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, I hope I'm audible and my screen is visible.
Yes, you're perfectly audible and your screen is visible too.
All right, thank you, ma'am. Good evening, everyone. I'm Ishita Dingre from GSS Private School, Dubai, UAE. Thank you so much for giving me an opportunity to talk about one of the challenges our country, India, is facing. There are many challenges our country is facing, including increasing population, COVID-19 pandemic, global warming, hostile neighbors across our borders, etc. I'm going to talk about an issue which is personal, but it is largely neglected at the cost of our country's future. The issue is our health. Are people in our country fit and healthy? The answer to this question came during the recently held Olympic Games. India's medal rank was 48, though our performance had improved compared to that of earlier years. India could get only 7 medals, while our neighbor China, with only slightly more population than us, ended up with 88. Many countries with much smaller population were ahead of us and in the medal table tally. Some may say that the per capita income is higher than India, but number of people in India having the same per capita income exceeds the population of many of those countries. Thus, it is apparent that affluent population in our country is not that health conscious and do not indulge in sports activities as people in other nations do. During COVID pandemic, large percentage of people in India succumbed because they had comorbidities. That is, they were suffering from other ailments, including diabetes, high blood pressure, etc. And these are the caused by the sedentary lifestyle and the high calorie food intake. It is no wonder that India has one of the highest number of people affected by diabetes in the world, and most of these affected people are relatively affluent. At the same time, large percentage of Indian population, particularly in rural areas, cannot get proper 2 meals every day due to very low income. Many children from this background are physically weak and prone to falling sick. Low per capita income in rural areas is induced by low income economic activity. So, what is the impact of all of this on a nation as a whole? All this impacts the productivity of the nation. Sick or unhealthy population cannot contribute much to the nation's economic health, but it is definitely a drag on it. India already has inadequate healthcare facilities and cannot cater to such huge population. We have seen this during the COVID pandemic. Upgrading these facilities to Western standards is prohibitive, expensive, and as a low income nation, we simply cannot afford it. The best thing India can do is to reduce malnutrition and invest more in preventive healthcare. This is much cheaper and is much affordable. Example, having 10 number of villages to have basic healthcare facility that will cost a fraction of building specialty for specialty hospitals. First, we will talk about improving the health in urban areas. Most companies have white-collar jobs which require sitting at the desk most of the time. Due to the sedentary nature of workspace and practically no physical activity, they are prone to falling sick. This directly impacts the company's bottom line as it increases the company's employee health insurance cost that reduces the overall company's competitiveness. Sick employee on leave can affect project deadlines affecting the company productivity. All this can lead to lowering its revenues, leading to reduced tax income for the government. Eating healthy food along with but regular exercise can go a long way to reduce incidences of diabetes and heart ailments. India is the largest importer of edible oils, and this leads to massive drain of precious foreign exchange. Eating healthy food means eating less fried food, and reducing oil in a diet will not only improve person's health but will also reduce companies' employee health insurance premium and improve companies' productivity, leading to improved revenues and thus contribute to the country's economy as well. And asking unhealthy employees to pay more for health insurance will induce self discipline among employees to do adequate exercise, eat healthy food, and maintain hygiene. Second, improving working office space conditions by improving ventilation should be considered to reduce pollutants in office space. Allowing the employee to utilize work from home concept 2 to 3 days a week wherever possible can reduce the average inhaling of pollutants considerably, and company can also save on office space at the same time. To improve the health in rural areas, first we can start by improving the farmers' income is the way to go. More income to farmers will come from increased food production with better price realization per unit of the produce and lowering of input costs to grow the crops. This can be done by increasing the farm yields and access to storage facilities, including cold storage facilities for perishable produce, ensuring minimum support prices for selected commodities, and reducing the input costs to grow the crops. More income to farmers will result in more spending by farmers in rural areas, therefore increasing the economic activity by generating demand along with the increased employment and income. This will reduce malnutrition substantially. Thus, two-pronged approach of making affluent population to adopt healthy eating and regular exercise along with the increased government focus to boost agriculture income will make India's healthier and will help India's economy to grow more rapidly as well as improve the ranking in the medal tally. Thank you.
Thank you, Ishita. It was a very interesting presentation, and you, although you were speaking only about health, you talked about a gamut of things. You talked about not only being healthy, you talked about being keeping health as a priority even in the corporate sector, and so many CSR things were also coming in. I would request Ms. Ruchira to comment on this, please.
Hi, Shweta. I think your presentation was really well researched, and you covered, the topic quite extensively. And your suggestions to corporates to, bring in those changes to make the workforce healthier, I think it's a great idea. I hope, it goes a long way and people do listen to you. Uh, you said when you were talking about COVID, you said that in developed India does not have the capacity to, um, improve the hospitals and the healthcare infrastructure as in developed nations. But actually, the developed nations too did not, they were also not prepared for such a calamity, and they were equally. Uh, they were equally struggling to cope with this. But overall, a great presentation, I would say. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you.
We have our next participant from Kerala. It's Abhiram Anil Kumar from Holy Grace Academy, Kerala. Abhiram Anil Kumar.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, is my screen visible?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. So very good evening to all the esteemed judges and the audiences present here. My name is Abhiram, and today I will be speaking about why overpopulation is the biggest challenge our country faces today and some possible methods to overcome them. So let's start with what is overpopulation. So overpopulation is a situation where the population is in the process of depleting non-renewable resources. Human overpopulation is when there are too many people for the environment to sustain with food, drinkable water, breathable air, etc. So from this definition itself, it becomes very clear how much of a threat overpopulation is towards us. So we are all aware about the fact that China has the largest population in the world. So here I have given a graph which predicts that India could possibly overtake China in being the country with the largest population by 2022. So now let's get into a few issues of overpopulation in India. So the first one is unemployment. It is the seed to a lot of problems in our country. If you look towards the right, I have a state-wise representation of unemployment in India. Here's a graph that shows unemployment from 1999 to 2019. And as you can see, there is no decline in the unemployment rate. Not to forget the other factors such as disguised unemployment and seasonal unemployment that did not factor into this graph. Unemployment pushes people to financial hardships. It is the main reason behind poverty and debt. Unemployment could cause serious setbacks to a country, and it is not just confined to the economy. Widespread unemployment could cause a huge spike in crime rates as unemployed youth looks into other forms of money making. Now, the next one is depletion of natural resources. This usually goes for our resources such as oil, coal, and natural gas. As population goes up, the needs increase, and thus leads to depletion of natural resources on a large scale. Population and deforestation needs no further explanation. It is pretty much self-explanatory. As population rises, pollution rises. Deforestation is usually done to get more land for housing, farming, and infrastructure development. Deforestation also takes us to the next point on my list, the impact on farming. Once deforestation is rampant, monsoons will be irregular and unpredictable. Also, taking up more land means less area to farm and also lack of fertility. These points that I have brought up just scratches the surface of the plethora of issues overpopulation brings towards us. So now let's go over a myth. So it is often believed that more the population, lesser the food, and because of overpopulation, a large section of people in India is not getting food to eat. It is obvious that for a better life, it is essential to have less people, but India at present has enough food to feed her people. So actually, it is not the population, but rather the management that needs to undergo changes for each one to have better facility and life. The food that is getting decayed in the warehouses must reach the needy. The reason behind this failure is corruption. Corruption ruins the efforts done to combat hunger and famine in a systematic way and also disrupts market operations. But our government is actively fighting against corruption and is doing wonders. More food is now going to the hands of people who need it the most rather than rot in a warehouse. So now some possible solutions to solving overpopulation. So Prime Minister Narendra Modi had urged the nation to understand the importance of birth control during his 73rd Independence Day speech. The birth rate is higher than the death rate in India. But what exactly can be done to control the overpopulation? Because overpopulation itself is a threat to our very own existence. So the first one is proper education. Properly educating people can do wonders to control overpopulation. Seminars could be conducted in rural areas. It could be broadcasted through televisions to reach an even wider audience. The next one on my list is bold policies to control population. Now by this, I don't mean severe rules and restrictions like that of China, where every family was limited to a child, but rather a certain limit in a family, such as 2 or 3 children. Bold policies and laws have to be enforced to make this a reality. Many families in India have upwards of 6 children. However, this trend seems to be going down as according to Times of India, more families are having 2 or less children. Controlling marriages and the age of marriage is a must. The concept of early marriages and in some places child marriages must be stopped. Last but the most important one, breaking through the social norms of the universal marriage system of India. In India, it is an obligation, like a sacred ritual, to get married and have children. If not followed, those people are usually frowned at or looked down on by society. Such toxic behaviors need to stop, and for that, the very first step, which I have already mentioned, that is proper education must take place. People should have the ability to live on their free will and make important decisions in life. Getting married and having children are not things to take lightly. It is a lot of work and responsibility. In conclusion, I feel like we are standing at a better point right now than what it used to be. However, to fix the overpopulation issue is not a very simple task. It's something that will take generations to correct. But things are looking up for all of us Indians. Our country produces enough food for all of us. We still can have enough natural resources, that is, if we learn to rely on renewable resources of energy and use our precious resources carefully. The problems of our country are slowly starting to slow down as people become more educated and aware. Although overpopulation is causing a huge dent in our country's development, we are still growing and developing faster compared to any other country. By 2022, India will be the fastest growing major economy of the world, even surpassing China. India now also ranks one among top 25 countries to live in. The only possible solutions for many challenges to come ahead is if we stand together. And we as the future citizens of India must do our best wherever we can. Let's stand together for a better nation and a better tomorrow. Thank you and Jai Hind.
Thank you, Abhiram. A very well made presentation and a very well presented speech also, I must say. Before I ask Mr. Swaminathan to comment on this, Abhiram, I would want to ask a very small question to you. You were advocating a kind of law which could, limit the family size. Do you really believe laws can or should be enforced in this matter? What's your personal opinion on this?
Ma'am, my opinion, like personally, is that like in China, like as we know, like a couple of years before, like their rule was enforced, the overpopulation was like a really huge problem. And as the overpopulation rises, the other problems that I brought up also rises, and that's like a huge threat to the future as well. So thinking about the future in place, I think that severe rules and policies are a must, as it like brings in some importance to the factors that I was presenting about. But I do believe that it should not be like really severe as of that would happen in China. But like I feel like there should be something to control it.
All right. So severe, but not really severe. Okay. Thank you, Abhiram. Swaminathan, sir, what would you suggest to our Abhiram?
Yeah, Abhiram Anil Kumar, the presentation was good.
Thank you, sir.
Most of the points covered by you are appropriate, though few are differing, right? And if you see the country India, we all Indians should be proud enough to name that as the youngest nation because we have lot of youngsters. You people are going to build the nation. Okay? Instead of saying developing country, the country will develop if the youngsters really step in. And if you see the population in India, most of the percentage of population is among the younger generation. However, the talent what the youngsters in India possess is very high, but it is not identified and exposed. Let it be in any field. We have so many hidden persons who are with high talent. Only when they get the chance, they are exposed. Okay, maybe because of the overpopulation, they are not getting the right chances to expose their talents, right? So at the same time, we have to analyze and see the population is not increasing as it was in earlier years. Like if you see before 20-30 years, the rate of increase to today's date, it is not in the same rate. It has reduced. Okay, depending upon the number of individuals present, right now we are overpopulated, but it is not increasing in that speed which was earlier. So I feel it is in the right phase. Okay, only thing is we have to make use of the resources properly. Let it be human resource or natural resource or whatever resource is there with us. If the resources are used properly, definitely India will be the superpower, topmost nation in the world itself. So let us not take overpopulation as the curse. It is the blessing, we can say. Only thing is we have to identify the talents and prove it to the world that Indians are the best, right? And as we say, India, if we expand, I never delay in action, right? If all the youngsters follow this, our country will be the best and topmost one.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Can I say something, please? Okay, so Abhiram, I would say your presentation was really good. The numbers, the graphics, it was. I think they should be a part of a presentation. They make a lot of difference. Um, but I agree with Swaminathan sir when he said that you could have spoken about the demographic dividend, the young population, and the strengths that we can utilize. That is probably going unutilized right now. So that probably you could have included. I am very happy with the solutions that you listed in them. The fourth point where you said, breaking through the universal marriage system, that in our country, it's considered one should get married, one should have kids. It should really be a personal choice, and shouldn't be a mandatory thing as such, like it is right now at most of the places. So well spoken, I guess. All the best.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, coming up with the next participant. It's Surya Ganga R. Nair from Holy Grace Academy, Kerala. Surya Ganga Nair.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, I hope it's visible.
Yes, dear.
Okay. If you salute your work, you do not have to salute anybody. If you pollute your work, you have to salute everybody. APJ Abdul Kalam. Good evening to all, respected judges, moderators, teachers, parents, and all my dear participants. I'm Suriganga R. Nair of Grade 9 from Holy Grace Academy, Kerala. And first, I would like to thank Dr. Kalam India Foundation for giving such an opportunity to speak about very much relevant topic, that is the biggest challenge India faces today and the way ahead. According to me, I think that one of the biggest challenge India faces today is corruption. Corruption is like a disease to the economy of the country. Not only does it hold the country from reaching into new heights, but also prevents country's development. Corruption to the country system is similar to the virus that attacks a computer system. A virus damages the mechanism of a computer system. On the similar line, the corruption damages the country's working mechanism. Well, corruption is like a communicable disease whose symptoms can be seen throughout the world. Now, moving on to its definition, corruption is the misuse of public goods by public officials for public purposes. Corruption adversely affects each and every sectors of our country. I admire that corruption is the root cause of our country's failure. And once the root cause is maintained, the other causes are automatically maintained. It threatens a country's economic and social development and limits its ability to grow in its economic and social development and to achieve minimum development goals as proposed by the UNO. Some of them would say that the problems like malnutrition, poverty, unemployment, and illiteracy are the cause of a country's failure. But I would like to say, if the countries were able to utilize their corrupted money in these sectors for the improvement of the sectors, it would have been changed for a limit. I would like to share a personal experience. Once, 2 years back, when my parents, we were all going on a trip, it was a forest area. I view that my two of the children, they were showing me high. So it was a forest area. So to live there, it's not a simple task. So my father said that let's get down here. We will take good pictures. And when we were on off the car, I saw a gate like it was made of bamboo and all. So my father said like we'll have a visit to there because it's not the people who live in cities. They might be having different experiences. So we just went to there and I saw something. A girl, she is drawing a picture, like she's having only 2 to 3 shades of colors with her, but she's doing a beautiful picture. But they don't know Malayalam. They know only some other languages. So but her mother knows. And I asked her like how is her like education, where schools, because I didn't find any schools nearby and all. So her mother said that only the two boy children, they are leaving to school because school is a little bit far away. But that girl child, she's helping her mother for the household chores. I was really helpless at that situation, because if she had given proper training and all that, who like she maybe become the young Vincent van Gogh or Leonardo da Vinci, because even though she's having only 2 or 3 shades with her, she drew an amazing picture. I was really impressed. I would like to ask, why would we have to face the problems like poverty and unemployment if the corrupted money was used in all these sectors? There are many projects for all these, but it's not reaching onto all hands. The government has taken measures to stop corruption with the different measures like Right to Information Act, Right to Service Act, but it has worked. But it's not, it's not even though it's working a lot, but it's not removing like the corruption into a very highly extent. India has the highest bribery rate in Asia, according to a report by the Corruption Watchdog Transparency International. See, if we want a great nation, we must stand together up and take charge of this country. It doesn't mean that we have to do a lot of things, but we should be transparent. Like we must always be genuine, sincere on what we are doing. And I have also an experience like one of my relative. She's highly qualified, and but she's not from a very she's not from a very financially fit family. So she was trying to join a school which is only half kilometer from my house. So when she asked for joining there, they were said that she had to give 50 lakhs rupees for joining there. So even though they did not take any interview offer, they did not check the qualification, they just said that 50 lakhs rupees you will be joined. I'm not blaming any government or the schools or something. It's like it's my concern or it's my observation that and it's all about that. It's how the country is. And now I would like to spell few points about the eradication of corruption. This is the need to adopt a formal mechanism of information sharing by the government in the public domain in order to improve the public accountability of the government. A fair amount of transparency in its functioning should be introduced. The slogan of Honest Bharat is essential for Samrid Bharat, for beginning a spiritual dimension into the system. Hence, should be spread to all corners of the country. Let us join our hands together to make our country corruption free. It should not be a slogan. Corruption is a crime. Let it destroy before it destroys us. Thank you.
Thank you, Surya Ganga. Very fierce presentation, I must say, and coupled with your personal experiences, you must have felt very strongly for it, and it shows. And the last slogan was very interesting. What did you say? Samriddha Bharat, that slogan that you said?
Ma'am, Honest Bharat is essential for Samriddha Bharat.
Okay, so Honest Bharat is Samriddha Bharat. Mandvi ma'am, what would you like to say to Surya Ganga?
I think she has really hit hard
on all of us, and this is one of the prime concerns. I'm amazed to see that students are thinking in such a way. They are going, they are deepening their entire process of thinking, and the I should really say that this was an insightful address. We all look forward to such youth. मतलब आज तो मन सच में अगर हिंदी में बोले तो ये कर रहा है कि ये लोगों के हाथ में देश की कमान आनी चाहिए। अगर बदलाव हम देखना चाहते हैं तो ये लोग ही वो कड़ी हैं जो अगर सही तरह से ढाल दिए गए, सही सांचों में ढाल दिए गए, तो obviously they will be the change makers. So we are looking forward. Wonderful presentation and very well spoken. The best part was you were speaking from the heart. I think this problem of corruption is so deep rooted that everybody who wants to speak, was anything that you link, even if you talk about the health issues, even if you talk about the woman empowerment, anything, तो सब चीजें एक जगह जाके रुक जाती है। किसी ने शिकायत भी करी तो आगे नहीं बढ़ती, क्यों? क्योंकि करप्शन है। हेल्थ इश्यूज, हम दवाइयां आ रही हैं लेकिन दवाइयां उनके सप्लीमेंट्स जिस तरह से तैयार किए जा रहे हैं या ऑल्टरनेटिव्स तैयार किए जा रहे हैं, ये सब करप्शन का ही पार्ट है। डिफरेंट टाइप्स ऑफ करप्शंस that are there in the society. So something that she has covered all three previous presentations and hit hard. So let's see, all the best. Very well spoken.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Suryaganga, a very small suggestion to you. Presentations look more effective when they have data in it. So if you could incorporate some data or some charts, graphics, that kind of graphic, it would be really an icing on the cake.
Thank you, ma'am, for your suggestion.
So moving on to our next participant, it's Anshaj Gupta from Gyanshri School, Uttar Pradesh. Anshaj Gupta from Uttar Pradesh.
Good evening, ma'am. I'm just going to start my presentation. Is my presentation visible? Good evening to one and all present here. The topic I'll be presenting, my presentation, will be hurdle in education can lead to disaster in the future. We all are educated beings and we can all relate to this hardly. To begin my presentation, I would like to state a quote quoted by our former president, APJ Abdul Kalam himself. He quoted that most of the geniuses in our country are found at the last benches. But what would happen if the geniuses are not able to go to the classroom and attain education? Will they be able to display their brilliance? Beginning with this, I would like to talk about my country, India. India has a population of 136 crores. It is also known as a youth country because a major chunk of the population is youth belonging to the teenage group. India has the world's largest school in the world, but still some sections of the society are deprived from education. 30% of the total illiterate population in the world resides in a country. That is 34% of the whole world population. The irony is that India conducts some of the hardest exams in the world, like JEE, UPSC, CAT, etc. Roughly 30% of the population lives below poverty line, and those who have received quality education have moved abroad for better job opportunities and work environment, which we'll be discussing afterwards. Some of the poor students who are determined to be educated have to face many problems to attain education, but some of the students don't value the opportunity they are availing. Education. I think the Indian society has really redefined the meaning of the term education. In India, an educated person is the only person who gets 90% above in his examination. But education has a crucial role to play in the development of a person and subsequently the entire nation. As we all know, there can't be a nation without its people, but a people can exist without a nation. The history of the Indian education system has some positive examples to exhibit it. Currently, Sundar Pichai, Satya Nadella, etc. It has been receiving some flack from the world nowadays. And the fact that can't be denied that we are falling behind in the field of education for quite some decades now. Poverty cycle. Major chunk of the Indian population lives below poverty line. Poverty cycle is referred to when generations of families suffer from poverty and inadequate resources. Giving an example, Suresh is son of a daily wage laborer. His father can barely afford food for him and his family, so his mother also works as a laborer. Suresh was attending good government school and attaining quality education, but his family forces him into child labor without any concern regarding for his education. He continues to work as a laborer for rest of his life. He is married and continues to perform the same vicious cycle due to his financial condition and many other reasons. The same poverty cycle is diagrammatically represented here. Here, Suresh's family was living in poverty and hence he was indulged in child labor and unable to get quality education. As he continues to do labor work, he struggles for a job and is unemployed. He is not able to earn enough money but has to marry and have children as the law of nature to continuity of the life. Problems faced by the Indian system and its solutions. The first and foremost reason is the lack of interest by the students. Courses can be made so interesting with the help of more practical implementations over theoretical curriculum. Physics is one of those subjects which has great practical potential. There are so many uses of the same theorem which has to be explained in similar examples, but we use a complex example. As a science student myself, most of my friends are really bored by physics and what is this vector? Why do they not follow the algebraic rules and why do they have different rules? It is also scientifically proven that hands-on knowledge is easier to understand and likely to be remembered better. Brain day. I think most of you have heard in your relatives that for example, in my relatives, my bua's son had gone to UK to continue his law education because he says that they provide better facilities. This is a very common practice whenever wise, capable, and meriting candidates don't land responsible positions in the nation, they are looking to travel another country looking for employment. This is called brain drain. To work on developing infrastructure and enough opportunities for the students to stay in their own nation and work for the development of own nation rather than already developed nations. Steps taken by the government. The government is not here to blame because the steps taken by the government have shown significant improvement. The recently launched NEP has a major step taken in order to improve the education. It replaces the national policy which was situated in 34 years earlier. It aims for 100% gross enrollment ratio. Schemes such as Sarv Shiksha Abhiyan provide free education, midday meal schemes, and etc. What will actually happen if the following steps are taken? The dream of India being a superpower can be achieved. Foreign investments will rise, better rise in education, better healthcare, etc. This is a PPC curve, a tool used by economics in order to determine the production capacity of a nation. If these following steps are taken, the production point of India will move towards the curve, which is a good sign. In concluding, we all want India to be a superpower one day, and education is one of the major root cause of healthcare, of degrading healthcare and all. With better education, we can get more speakers, more better policymakers, and better educationists. Thank you.
Thank you, Anshad. Quite an interesting presentation. You touched on a lot of things. And I was smiling at the PPC that you made. Being the economics person, I was very happy. So although I would slightly be, I might slightly have a doubt whether the PPC would shift outwards or
No,
just
it
the
will not shift
core. Yeah,
outward. Due to rise in employment, the point will shift
absolutely.
towards the
Due to
right.
rise in employment, it would move towards the PPC, but due to increase in education, skill, and um, the qualification or productivity of resource, it would indeed move outwards also. Thank you, Anshad. Ms. Ruchira, what would you want to say to Anshad?
Hi, Anshul. I think it was a nice presentation, and you began with listing out the ironies within the system. I think that was a good idea. Hands-on knowledge, I think that's being implemented already, and moving forward, we can hope that it'll only increase. I thought it was a little scattered. You went to brain drain. You went to, you did not go into the nitty gritties of why, education is less poverty. You spoke about poverty, yes, but I guess you could have delved a little bit deeper into the problem itself. And but yeah, good presentation, I would say. Thanks.
Thank you.
Ji sir, you want to say something, I think?
Yeah, I just want to put one question to Ansaj. Ansaj, in a simple term, what do you feel regarding the present education in India comparing to the all other countries?
So I think it has shown better results no matter what we say about that. And I, as a science student myself, I really enjoy like the present system. But yes, I have deeply researched about the NAP, which like further divides the subjects from grade 6, I think. And I think that's a really great step, since in grade 11 when I have opted from science, the physics course is really wide. And even my teachers say that the course should be divided, like from 9 the physics is started. The 11th one is really in depth. They should give a little brief description in the earlier grades also, which is really implementation of the NAP. So I think that's a great step.
No, I think you didn't get my question. How do you rate the Indian education level now? You think India is on the higher level, or comparing to some other countries, we
I
are?
think it's at a high level currently. Yeah.
That's good. Be proud of getting education from India, because the education system which we are following has deep root, and it has been followed by many countries, because we give equal importance for knowledge and skills, not only knowledge alone. That is one of the reasons why Indians are able to top in most of the places. Wherever they go, they are able to excel because of the great impact given by the Indian education system and the teachers, in fact. Right? Thank you.
Definitely, sir.
So yes, that was Anshaj. Next we have Sri Harsha PN from Sri Purnamal Shrenikraj Doka Jain School, Karnataka. Sri Harsha PN from Karnataka.
Can I start, ma'am?
Yes, please.
Good evening, everyone. I am Sriyarsha Piyan of Class 9. Today, I am here to present a presentation on the topic India's challenges it faces today and its way ahead. I have chosen a topic of poverty.
I think we might have to pin this presentation.
India, being the world's biggest democracy, has taken many steps to transform itself into a developed nation. Sti- As its economy is increasing, poverty is still major challenge. As per 2019 survey, India's government stated that 6.7% of its population is below its official poverty line, that is $1.25. That means 92.76 rupees. Poverty is a very common challenge in every developing country. Around 1 in 5 Indians were living in poverty in 2012. Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Jharkhand, Orissa, and Chhattisgarh have the poorest areas. 43% of the poor belong to scheduled caste or scheduled tribe categories. This is a very bad condition for the people who are living in the poverty. Government should look in these issues. Effects of poverty has been deeply censored by India in the pandemic years. People have been starving for food, their basic facilities. Poverty is very dangerous. Government has announced many plans to reduce the poverty in India, but they are under extreme corruption. Plans such as PDS has been used by the rich people to get their free daily needs using fake documents. Here, our objective is to decrease the poverty. Methodology will be implementing measures to reduce poverty. Result analysis will be results in decreasing poverty by taking regular surveys and conducting regular seminars. Conclusion will be problem will be solved and we can concentrate on the other social economic problems. Improvements to be made in the plans by the government are speedy development of infrastructure. This encourages the public investors in investing the infrastructural projects. Improving the improving the PDS system. This enables the poor people to access the basic utilities for a healthy population in the rising prices in the market. Growth of non-farm employment will be also a good option for decreasing the poverty because it increases the production of the country and increases the salary of the people. Quality education for the children will also increase the awareness of the children in spreading awareness that spreading awareness of the poverty's poverty's effects. Poverty is a major challenge in every developing country, as I said before. Conclusion will be that poverty is a major issue. By implementing some simple methods, it will be easier for us to lift the people of the country from the poverty. Being educated citizens, we should fight for the people who are in the poverty and go against the government in the case of repressive policies. I would thank my Vice Principal Arish sir for helping me in and correcting me in this project. Thank you everyone.
Thank you, Harsha. I could see that you have researched well. Let us ask Swaminathan sir, what does he think about Harsha's presentation?
It's good. I think it should have gone still in some more depth regarding what are the causes of poverty, right? Instead of, we all know that poverty is there right from the beginning. It is increasing, decreasing like that, it is fluctuating. But at the same time, if you talk about poverty, the pain of poverty is really understood only by the person who has gone through it, not by the ones who are having some kind of resources, right? So, yes, it is one of the most important factor. Also, we can say are the challenges which the country is facing. As we know, especially we being in Africa, we know some of the countries where the poverty level, what to what extent it is, and how far the people are suffering. It is not only the government who can work out on that. It is all the individuals should come forward, even some organizations to come forward, like we have NGOs and others. Somehow this poverty has to be reduced, but it is not so easy to bring it to zero. But as far as possible, it has to be reduced. Good presentation.
Thank you, sir.
The next participant we have is Grishma Murlidharan from Kerala. Grishma Murlidharan.
Yes, ma'am. Is my audio audible? Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, is my presentation visible?
Not yet.
Ma'am, is it visible now?
Yes. Yes. No.
So, good evening, everyone.
Grishma, we
Very
can't
honest.
see. Grishma,
Yes, ma'am.
there's some issue with it. The voice is also echoing and we can't see your presentation. We can see your screen, but not your presentation.
Okay, ma'am. Just a second. Ma'am, is my voice audible? Ma'am, is my presentation visible?
It's starting to come out. Yes.
Yes.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Very honorable to meet each one of you. My topic is infrastructure. It's a very simple topic, but still a challenge. I took this topic because these are some of the challenges that I have to face when I came to India after a long time. So let's.
Grishma,
Yes, ma'am.
could you maximize the slide, please?
Yes, ma'am. It's full screen.
No, Grishma, it's not full screen. Please make it full screen.
Ma'am, is it now okay?
Doesn't matter. You go on.
Okay, ma'am. So infrastructure is the basic physical and organizational structures and facilities needed for the operation of a country. It is a set of fundamental facilities and systems that support the sustainable functionality of the country, serving a country, city, or other area, including the services and facilities necessary for its economy to function. Infrastructure include public and private physical structures such as roads, railways, bridges, tunnels, water supply, sewers, electrical grids, and telecommunication. Infrastructure in India. Infrastructure sector is a key element for the Indian economy. The sector is highly responsible for India's overall development. Infrastructure sector includes power, bridges, dams, roads, and urban infrastructure development. It provides the most basic facilities that help serve different economic activities and thereby help in facilitation of growth and development of the country, education, communication, transport, banking and insurance, health and technology. But still, it's a issue for India. So I sorted out different issues under different sections of infrastructure. So when we go to the road section, we have inadequate road networks, unmetalled and unstable roads, highly congested roadways, bridges are old and narrow, no proper traffic rules. I had to say this because when I came to India, I could see the roads in front of my house, which is the still same way how it was 10 years before. We had given a lot of application to change it, but still there's no updation on it. And there are a lot of accidents taking place in our places because of the roads are not proper. And when we come to railway sections, we have old tracks and poor state of rolling stock, and people travel without tickets because we don't have a proper management, we don't have a proper technological management for all these purposes. There's a replacement problems and competition with road transport makes there is a lack of coordination between railway and road transport, which has lowered the earning capacity of railways, and this has further caused a delay in traffic movement and inconvenience to passengers. And when we come to the healthcare system, we do not have a proper sanitation facilities. We do not have public toilets where people who come from long ways could use, and we do not have a waste disposal system too. This I have to say this because when I came here, we asked the ward member if we have a proper disposal system, and they said we have plastic disposal system where a member of the society will come and collect it at the weekend. And we waited a week or two for the person to come and collect it, but nothing has happened yet. And when we go to the next problem, we have malnutrition still in India, where the 15% of Indian population has malnutrited people. And when we go to food and other commodities, we can see a huge increase in price of commodities. and there's an increase in demand for the commodities too, and it is really difficult when agricultural lands are being limited to a certain size. And when we go to education system of India, we have a problem of acceptance, where students are really not I have to say this because the society really doesn't accept where children want to be. It's a problem that India has. And the next problem is that wastage of resources. We do not have a proper opportunities for jobs and other certain things. So,
Grishma,
yes.
wouldn't you like to change the slide? You
Ma'am,
haven't changed the slide as yet. Okay, it's on purpose.
yes, ma'am.
All right.
I'm in this education sector. Ma'am, shall I continue?
Sure, please.
So when we come to education system, there's a wastage of resources because people do not get proper opportunities of jobs, and we have a general education orientated people. Students learn the same thing over and over again, and we really don't give much importance or priorities or other sections like sports and stuff. So I think we should really give priority to other topics as well as. And the next one is that water and electricity. We have a main problem of proper distribution in our country for water and electricity. Even in my area, there's a huge problem of proper distribution of electricity. We can't really use multi-use gadgets of high voltage here, which will cause a decrease in the voltage. So it's a big problem that we face here, and problem of proper development of other resources. India has a huge resources which has to be utilized, but we are still not doing it because we don't have a proper system, proper technological advancement. So I think we do have a solution for all the problems, but we do not have a proper disciplined and routineful solution. That's the problem, main problem I think we have. So that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Grishma.
Thank you, ma'am.
Would you want to switch on the camera, please?
Ma'am, it's my video.
All right. Okay, Grishma, so your topic was infrastructure. Could you just mute for a moment while I'm speaking? Then I'll ask you to unmute. It's echoing. Yeah. So your issue is infrastructure, right? And you covered a lot of challenges. Did all those challenges include infrastructure particularly? You think they did?
I think yes, ma'am, because these all come under infrastructure, and it's a basic element that we use day to day, and people face this day by day. And I think if a problem has to be we have to find a solution for a problem. It should be solved from the root. So these are the basic things that we face day to day.
Okay, Grishma. See, small suggestions from my side before we go to Mandvi ma'am for her comments. When you are preparing a presentation, you should always keep in mind the timing, right? I felt that you had a lot more to say and a lot more to show us, but you couldn't because the time got exhausted, right? So next time, just rehearse with the time, stay on the issue. You can go, deeper inside the problem if you choose a a very exact problem instead of choosing a very wide problem, so that you go deep into it and give your audience a real insight into the problem. Okay, Reshma, that was great. But Manvi ma'am, your suggestions, please.
Ma'am, I think you spoke it all. So there is nothing left to say. But then, yes, of course, Grishma, you could have looked into, because the slides were also not changed. We were expecting you to, move on with the slides, but then it just stuck on for a very long time in that one slide only. So, like the slides did not change, and ma'am, rest of the issues, ma'am has already, pointed out. You could have, you chose a very, very, very wide topic, so you couldn't restrict, and there was so much more to be spoken about that we felt as if we have stopped you half the way. due to the time constraint. So all the best, but you did your best. And yes, of course, infrastructure, one more issue to think upon, that you have given it to us also. But only suggestion is little more that data can be added, variety could have been there. There was a lot more to be spoken, but then time was a constraint. And I think when you choose such a wide topic, you should limit yourself to certain aspects of those of the presentation. But then you went on the other side of it, and so we somehow feel that uh, there was more to be done to it. थोड़ा सा justice और करना चाहिए था उस presentation के साथ. Anyways, thank you so much, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
So moving on ahead, now the remaining presentations, we have them in Hindi, our Rashtra Bhasha. So the next participant is Saloni from DDA Flat Government Girls Secondary School, Delhi. Saloni from Delhi. Saloni. I guess, shall I call the next participant and then we can check.
Although Saloni had contacted me yesterday only, I don't know what is the problem, but we can, of course, go ahead.
So after Saloni, we have Amog from SBR Composite PU College, Karnataka. Amog from Karnataka.
Good evening, ma'am. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
So can I start my presentation?
Sure.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, can you able to see my screen? Hello?
Not yet.
Hello, ma'am. Can you see my presentation? Hello?
Yes, Amog, now we can see your presentation.
So can I start, ma'am?
Yes, sure.
So, as I begin, good evening to everyone. So I'm going to start my presentation. The biggest challenge my country faces in the way ahead. I have chosen a topic called flood mismanagement. It is me, Amok Bana from SBR Composite PU Composite College, Kalaburgi, Karnataka. So let me move forward now. A flood. What is a flood? A flood is an overflow of water that submerges land, which is a normally dry. Here we can see this pie chart. This is flood-prone areas in Bihar, Assam, West Bengal, Orissa, and there are other states. These are the main states. What are they? Then the factors contributing to increase in flood. First are what natural causes, then human causes. We will see natural causes. Then it's skewed rainfall pattern, transnational rivers, earthquakes, and climatic change. Then human causes are unplanned development, urban flooding, neglect of pre-disaster planning. We will move forward on. This is the map of that flood mismanagement. Dams were the root cause of the flood in the past decade. We see these are the states which are mainly which are highly caused the floods. So we'll move forward. Flood management measures. These are structure. Physical works for proper measures, modified flood magnitude to keep floods away from people. Their non-structural measures are planned activity to modify susceptibility to flood damage to keep people away from floods. So flood management, structural measures, dams and reservoirs, embankment, channel improvement, river diversions, interbasin transfer, and anti-erosion works. So we'll move on. So flood management and non-structural measures, flood forecasting and warning, flood plain zoning, flood fighting and flood proofing, flood insurance, relief and rehabilitation. So floodplain zoning. So you can see in this picture. So floodplain zoning. We have another picture. Then we will move on flood forecasting and warning present system. It's schematic diagram you can see on this slide. So flood management and future strategies. This first is focused approach and basin-wise action plan, flood plan zoning, role of central government, funding of planned flood management works, adequacy of flood cushion in reservoir. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Amog. It was a good presentation. But let me ask you something. Why did you think that flood management problem was the biggest challenge that India is facing today?
Because in Karnataka, I have saw it, ma'am, and we had a lot of problems in this region, upper North Karnataka region. So I have took this as a part.
That was what I wanted to
And
hear, that
Kerala
your
also faced.
experience. Right. Your experience made you choose it, and it was a very good decision. I liked it. I would ask Ms. Ruchira to comment on Amog's presentation.
Hi, Moog. You used a lot of pie charts, data, diagrams. I think that's a very good way to, go on with your presentation. Great. And it's a very important issue with, urbanization, climate change, lots of natural disasters happening. So it was very topical. I think it was very timely to have raised this issue. And I guess you could have included a little more, but yes, there was time constraint also. But good presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Shweta ma'am. Yeah.
Of course, sir. Please.
Amog.
Yes.
Can you give me one solution for this problem?
Solution, sir.
Yeah.
For this problem means we have.
Amog, switch on your camera. Camera on.
Ma'am, are you able to see me? Now?
Yeah.
So the problem is the solution for this will be have to talk with every state and more what are the waters leaving more flow of water has caused this problem, and to stop this we have to talk and have to plan more economical, I think.
Okay. In fact, it should be the combined responsibility of all the states, we can say. The only solution, the best solution will be connecting all the rivers and sharing, considering the water as the natural resource, not as the personal resource. Right? It's good.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
And maybe, Amog, the whole idea of dams should be re-looked into, because now it has been widely accepted that big dams are not the solution. In fact, they might be contributing to the problem, as so many conservationists around us have shown.
Yes.
So I think that needs to be re-looked at. Thank you for bringing our attention to this.
Thank you.
After Amog, we have Abhay M from Amrita Vidyalayam, Kerala. Abhay M from Kerala.
Yes, ma'am. There. Ma'am, I'm presenting. Second, ma'am. Ma'am, I'm having a problem with presenting the screen. So. Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, hope you could see the slide.
Yes, we could.
Yes, ma'am. So, a warm good evening to all the respected juries. I am Abhay from Kerala. So today, as the topic is Bharat Meri Nazar Se, I have many things discussed in this. So the main topics are what are the major challenges India is facing at the present, and also the solution for the problems. There is all a sweet and also a bitter truth. Every country has both positive and a negative side. But to be a successful country, we must overcome the negatives that is stopping us. So we must know what is the negatives. So our India is rich in its heritage, culture, and wildlife, vegetation, medical tourism, and many more. India is one of the most educated country. But the bitter truth is that India is a developing country since we got independence, that is from 1947, and India is still suffering from economic crisis, overpopulation, illiterate population, and ignorance, and many more. Major challenges India is facing at the present. The main challenge India is facing at the present is just literacy rate, which is the epistemology of many other problems, which is the root
Excuse me,
cause.
Abhay, your slides are not changing.
Ma'am, it's not changing.
No, dear.
Wait a minute, ma'am. 1 second, ma'am. Uh, Ma'am, now is the child, is the slide changing?
Yeah, now we can see the new slide. Please continue.
Okay, ma'am. So, ma'am, repeating again, the topic discussed is the what are the major challenges India is facing at the present and the solution for the problems. So there are both sweet and bitter truth, and every country has its own both positive and negative sides. But to be successful, we must overcome the negatives that is stopping us, and so that for that we should look into the negatives. Our India. India is rich in its heritage, culture, wildlife, vegetation, medical tourism, and many more. India is one of the most educated country. But India also has its own bitter truth. India is a developing country since we got independence. India is still suffering from economic crisis, overpopulation problems, illiterate population, ignorance, and many more. Now let's head on what are the major challenges India is facing at the present. First is the illiteracy rate. So India's latest estimated literacy rate is just 74.7%. India is one of the most educated country in the world, but it also have a lot number of illiterate population. Illiteracy is also an epistemology of which is a root cause to many other problems because it causes unproductive population, increase in economic crisis, and lack of which indeed leads to a lack of development in a country. So again, because of education and because of illiterate population or because of lack of employment, we have main problems that is brain drain. If India do not work for our country, if Indians do not work for their own country, how can we expect the country to develop is a main question. Our ideas are used by foreign countries and they are getting innovated. For example, Google, which was invented by Sundar Pichai, and Gmail, etc. Now they are all American companies. Next is unemployment. Now, the main reason of brain drain is highly increasing unemployment. Yes, ma'am.
Please change your slide.
Ma'am, changing.
Okay. It's still on literacy. Still on literacy. You're talking of unemployment, so I thought you might not be aware
Yes,
that the
ma'am.
slide is
I'm not on the literacy slide.
You do it manually, Abhay. You can do it, click on the slide that you want to go to manually when you are talking about that.
Yes, ma'am. Wait a minute. Ma'am, there are many present options, that's why I'm getting confusing. Ma'am, now? Ma'am, can you see?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. So, ma'am, unemployment, which is the main reason of brain drain in India. And, ma'am, the main unemployment in India is educated unemployment, which is caused by various problems such as increasing in suicide rate, which also lead in high and unproductive population. Even people with best degrees are not getting their jobs. Ma'am, in India, there's a very big supposition that skills are more, the degrees are more necessary than skill. This is the main reason of educated unemployment. Now, disguised unemployment. This mainly happens in agriculture sector when people appear to be employed, but they are not employed. Normal unemployment. This unemployment is just because many institutions are just falling for the degree, but not for the work. It causes many type of mental issues because of the superstition that degree is everything. Imagine two person A and B. The person B is having a better skill, but the A is having a better degree. If a company hires the person A, his degree is not is he has just a degree but not the skill or interest to do the work. So in order, indeed, the company will go for a loss. But the B man, which has the skill to do, will get the company to a profit. Number 5 is politics. In India, politics undergo in divide and rule manner. More money goes for winning an election rather than helping the citizen. That is true. For I think approximately 2 lakhs go for just a district election. They're betraying people by not fulfilling the promises. This indeed causes war within the country. We have seen to, I think, the previous year itself, we saw that many deaths happening due to war, due to politics. When our soldiers are busy and donating their life, protecting us from the outsiders, they are causing war inside. More than 200 people are injured in every election. So a solution. Now we are reached to the solution. So first solution is to encourage the youth. Encouraging the youth to chase their dreams, but in our country, instead of believing on their ideas to help them to achieve it, we tend to stop them. We start to compare them to others. We have lots of law to control politics, but none of them are effective. For example, we have law that they should not use government objects or government utilities for election, but it's not happening. India is a secure country, and this should be awaken the mind of citizens to stop the war on the basis of religion. We should stop for every institution should stop falling for a piece of paper rather than hiring someone with a better degree, or with a better skill and creativity. Infrastructural development. Many people are reserved as stocks, but which can be turned to a resource. For example, Rajasthan. It has a high potential for producing solar and wind energy. I think, but they are not using it. And by treating bad waters and converting it into tourist attraction. I'm proud to say that Coimbatore has came with a new plan that is a smart city in which they converted a whole river into a good boating spot and a tourist place. Little more ideas are that by increasing the salaries. Medical tourism, wildlife, vegetative tourism, extra education, which increase the GDP. Then next is increasing the salary of the people. We should increase the salary for the hard work they are doing, which will in turn pay back as increase in GDP because they are getting more interested to the work. We should stop ignorance and stop breaking promises and stop using government utilities in order to attract traffic. But it is true that we live in a world that is built on promises constructed by liars. Once a great man said that, unless India stand up to the world, no one will respect us in the world. Fear has no place, only strength and respect. The youth need to be enabled to become job generators from job seekers. And we should follow our dreams to get our result in action. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Abhay.
Yes, ma'am.
We could all see that you were very influenced. The issue impacts you, and that is why you created this. You chose this topic. You said that degrees don't matter in India. The skill doesn't matter in India. It's only the degrees that matter. Here we have Mr. Swaminathan who says exactly the opposite, and he does feel that degrees don't matter. Okay, so there's hope, Abhay. Yes, sir, would you like to give your tidbits to Abhay?
You have already given my view, ma'am. I'm completely against that because degrees don't matter, skills do. That is what I feel. See, nowadays, even if you go for any campus interview, okay, Abhay, if you see, he has taken everything, literacy rate, then politics, then unemployment, salary issues, so many topics he took. So the core concept which he aimed was not attained. However, I strongly believe that skills do matter a lot than the degrees. Even all the initiatives taken by the government or into the employment sectors, nowadays skills are given more important. Okay.
Yes,
For
ma'am.
example, even in the education field, if you see, even if a person is with a PhD degree, right, and if the particular person doesn't know to teach or educate the learners, you will not get the employment, right? So skills matters a lot. Even if you go for any interview after the completion of course in the colleges, nowadays most of the industries are focusing on the skills. Suppose if 500 engineering students are there, they see among the 500 who is having a skill. They put a problem to you and then see who is having the ability to solve the problem. So problem solving skills they are seeing. They are seeing the leadership skill. They are not seeing only the degree. So don't imagine that degrees are only important. Than the degree nowadays skills are more, because getting degree is not a problem now. But
Yes,
grooming
sir,
your
I
skill.
totally agree to it. And I meant to say that only.
So you have to enhance your skills, and you can't focus only on one skill. Just keep on improving. Attain one, go for the next one, next one, next one. As long as you have more skills, more opportunities are there in front of you.
But
Abhay,
it's true
switch on
that
your
India is
camera for a
falling on
second.
degree.
Switch on your
Yes,
camera for
ma'am.
a second, Abhay. Yeah.
Um, yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Yes, Abhay.
Okay. All right, Namrata ma'am, let's move forward.
Okay. So after Abhay, we have Krishna Gupta from Mantura Public School, Uttar Pradesh. Krishna Gupta from Uttar Pradesh. Krishna Gupta from Uttar Pradesh.
I think we can move ahead. She's not there.
Moving on to the next participant, it's Shivani Sehgal, Mantura Public School, Uttar Pradesh. Shivani Sehgal from Uttar Pradesh. Shivani
Hello,
Sehgal.
everybody.
Yeah.
Am I audible and visible to everybody?
Yes.
Okay. My screen is presenting to everybody or not?
Not yet.
Okay, ma'am. I want to take a second because it's a little bit network issue. Sorry, ma'am. I think it's a little bit issue. I have. Can I rejoin it?
Okay, Shivani.
Shivani, I think let's pick up another candidate and we'll come to you immediately after that. Once you resolve, you can write in
Okay,
the
ma'am.
chat box that you are ready.
Okay.
Do we have Vipul Singh over here? Vipul Singh from Mantura Public School, Uttar Pradesh. Vipul Singh. Vipul Singh from Uttar Pradesh.
No, I don't think he's there. And he also had... Vipul, are you there? No.
So that was the last name, ma'am. I
Okay,
guess
Ma'am,
let her return. Okay,
Shivani is
Shivani.
back.
okay, ma'am. Ma'am, my screen is presenting.
No, not yet, Shivani. Yes.
Right now, ma'am?
Now it has started. Yeah.
Okay, ma'am. Hello, everybody. So, myself, Shivani Sehgal.
I think there is genuinely a network issue. I think we can give 1 minute to Shivani in case we get a resumed network. I don't think she's there.
And I think Krishna Gupta has joined right now if she wants to.
We're not sure whether there are audience also, ma'am.
Okay,
So,
all right.
okay, in case she joins, we will let her in. As of now, we have covered all the participants and all the presentations are done for the day. Mandvi ma'am, if you could share your experiences about the whole show. You're muted, ma'am.
Sorry. So it has been wonderful, and what was very good about the thing is that the youth is really deepening the entire process of thinking. They have got into the what we call as the nerves of the country. They have understood that what are the various problems that need to be addressed. Maybe some of them have chosen which were very wider in perspective, or region based. But then yes, of course, these are problems which India has been facing from time to time. Certain regions are aligned to those problems. They have been like your flood. Okay, so a region prone problem, not all over India, but yes, a regional problem. But yes, certainly needs to be addressed, because everywhere you have such areas. And as you said, of course, डैम्स बना जरूर रहे, वो कितना प्रॉब्लम को बढ़ा रहे हैं ये भी हमें सोचना पड़ेगा. So, all in all, a wonderful initiative by all the participants. And somebody spoke about health, or some spoke about corruption, and different other parameters were covered. And I like one thing about the health was, yes, we all need to think as schools also regarding our teachers. So their safety, their health, not only in corporate sector, but apart from that, as educationists, we should think that our teachers are the most important asset. They are the nation builders, and we should also think on those lines. So what changes can we bring, and what can be the new policies that can be incorporated into our current policies for the betterment and addressal of the health issues or concerning our teachers. So indeed, a thought provoking session, wonderful. And yes, if the Hindi participants would have completed it, it would have been a good blend of both the Hindi and the English section. But yes, let's see. Better luck next time. So, my all the best wishes to all the participants. They did well, and I hope the best person wins. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. And it was wonderful. I thank Dr. Kalam India Foundation. I thank Sudhakar ji. I thank ma'am, all the judges, Namrata ma'am, for giving me this opportunity. It has been a wonderful learning even for me. And down the line, I have also thought that there are major issues, and students should come out with what they want to speak. Bharat Meri Nazar Se, yes, of course, has been successful, and we have looked into what the youth of today is thinking on different parameters, different issues, different lines. So wonderful altogether. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your encouragement. I am sure all the students would have benefited from your advice. And
Yeah, and of
children,
course, we need to work a little more on the
right?
presentation.
Yes.
Somebody was slightly weak, like we can say on the deliverables. If the content was good, maybe the deliverable was at times a little, full of. Certain was speaking out from the bottom of the core of their heart. They were into the issue very much in depth, as if they have really lived the issue. So, deliverables, whatever rubrics were, they were a different thing. But then altogether, yes, it was a learning platform. I hope everybody would have gained that how to present your screen. There might be technical glitches. What can be the other options if something happens? Then what should be the back way? हम कैसे और present कर सकते हैं? और creativity कई लोगों के में थोड़ा सा lack कर रही थी. So pie charts, किसी के में figures, data was lacking. So all those can be always added on. And I think all the jury members gave their insights after every session of the students. So students have taken this learning away with them. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you.
Absolutely, ma'am. See, all of you are high school students, so this forum is meant for this skill, the development of this skill. It's not that you are, professional presenters, but you can be. So this is a learning platform for all of us, all of you. So do take that mentoring.
That I would really like to quote, ma'am. I'm sorry, I'm interrupting in between, but when you introduced madam, you said she is the brand ambassador for EQ. But then I have to make a mark because the students are out here. The more we work on EQ, it's wonderful. It's wonderful indeed. It is the need of the hour that the student should be. Even the parents should be made aware about the importance of EQ in the life of the children. But we should also work on the AQ, which is the paradigm shift, and which tells that we should strengthen our students, the entire fraternity, not only students, but the entire fraternity of teachers also for the adversity quotient as well. Because we are preparing the children for the road, not the road for the children. So let's work on this factor also. Apart from just promoting the EQ, let's work on the adversity question so that children, whenever they face challenges, they come out as winners with flying colors, with a smile on their face, and they learn how they have to go through that difficult pathway of their life, because ups and downs are a part of line. The moment the line is straight, the life ends. So let's strengthen and work on this part, even for the children. Not only school should focus on EQ, but the IQ, but also focus on AQ. Thank you, ma'am.
Absolutely, ma'am. Shivani, I see that you've joined again. Are you ready? Is the network all right now?
I'm so sorry. I'm apologizing, ma'am, for this. I'm so sorry. It's a network issue I was facing, and I even don't know that I was left. I'm so sorry, ma'am. I will starting it again.
Yeah.
My screen is visible. Ma'am?
Yes, it is visible now, Shivani.
Okay. Okay. Hello, everybody. Let's start. The biggest challenge my country faces today and the way ahead. Is happening.
Beta, you can still go ahead with your presentation. Not an issue if PPT is not working. That's not a problem.
Okay, sir. So
Relax, just
right now,
continue.
yeah, ma'am. Okay. Just a minute, ma'am. Just a minute. It's not responding actually, and there is a lot of things which I have to present. Should have to restart the program.
I think it is again because of, it might be because of the network.
Actually, ma'am,
you can go ahead.
I think my computer having a little bit lag. Okay, I have to restart it. Okay. Yeah, wait. I will just start my things. I think it's just taking a long time. So, the topic is the biggest challenge my country faces today and the way ahead. So, first, I will like to tell you about my country. That my country is the largest democracy in the whole world, and now it becomes the third largest democracy of the world. And then too our country is facing major big issues, and that is social, political, and economical issues. So if I just tell you about the major issue which our country is basically facing, according to me, it's a unemployment. Obviously it's a unemployment, and if I'm talking about unemployment, then I should have to tell you that what is unemployment. So unemployment, it's a situation in which skilled and talented people wanted to do a job, wanted to get a job, but due to certain reasons and various problems, they are not able to get the job according to their skills. So it's a major issue, because the situation is that much of drastic that for the money they are able to do anything whatever they are getting, even for the sweeper also, and that is a bad thing which we know. So it's a major issue which we are facing right now. So next I will talking about right now. I'm presenting my screen. Is it presenting to everybody, and is it moving, means it's having animations and all these things?
All well. Perfectly fine.
Okay, okay, ma'am. So, if we are talking about unemployment, then it's a basically a situation in which skilled and talented people wanted to do a job, but cannot find a proper job due to several reasons and different problems. Although, and unemployment, if we are talking about, then also we have to know the reason that why is unemployment is increasing uh, day by day, and that is I'm going to discuss about some of the reasons related to this. And the one of the major reason, that is a population growth. And if you see here the graph there is given from 2010 to 2020, the population growth is increasing so much. And next is the seasonal employment. Obviously the seasonal employment, if we see take a look on the pie chart, then we can get that due to the seasonal employment, unemployment is basically increasing so much. And then it's a slow growth of the economic sectors. Obviously here is graph is given, and from 2010 to 2020 we seen the growth in economic sector that is neither increasing and nor decreasing, means it's a constant, means a, a slightly slow growth is having with the economic sectors. And now if something is a reason, then also having a consequences which we are facing due to the unemployment. So there are so many consequences of unemployment, um, that are mental health, political instability, loss of skills, increase in crime rate, and increase in poverty. So if I just explain you, then these all the things which are written here right now, these all are related to each other. How, if you wanted to ask me, then my answer will be that for everyone needs employment. Why? For the basic necessities, and for money obviously. And if someone not having money, not able to complete their basic necessities of their life, then poverty also increase. That as I've written, that increase in poverty, it also increase the poverty. And in increase in poverty, everyone needs some food for their stomach, and for their stomach, when they have no option, they do only one thing, and that is crime rate. That's why robberies and all these stealing crimes and all these things are like, if I take an example related to the terrorist, means for employment, for the family welfare, what they do, they just became a human bomb, and do bad things, and just increase in a crime rate. And due to the crime rate, what happens, it also impact on the politics and government and everyone. Means even the loss of skills, how that skills, the people having a good skills are only for the money. What they do, they do every type of things, whatever they can, for their stomach, for themselves. And after consequences, and we know that if something has a reason and consequences, then solution can be find out. So some of the initiative which are taken by our government, um, so I'm going to tell you some of the initiative which are taken by our government. First is IRDP, that is Integrated Rural Development Program. Next is DPAP, that is Drought Prone Area Program. And next is PMI UPEP, and that is Prime Minister's Integrated Urban Eradication Program. These all are schemes launched by our government since our India just being an independent country. But I don't think so that these all schemes are working properly. They are really working for the peoples. They are really helping to them. I have a big question mark on my government, that is it really working? Is it really helpful to our peoples which are facing the problem of unemployment? Is it really a fact, or is it really a fake? We just don't know. But I have also a question mark over it. And next is my suggestion, if just talk about, then it's population control. Population control is a solution for everything. Means not for everything, but obviously for the unemployment. And as the population just go down, means control, population controls, then obviously we can get the more employment options for themselves. So that's my thing. Thank you.
Thank you, Shivani. At last, we could see the complete presentation after many glitches, but that's life. So no problem. Thank you. Thank you so much. Is there any
I'm
other participant?
apologizing for this also.
No problem. It's not your fault. Is there any other
Oh,
participant who is left who was not
Yes,
present
ma'am.
during? Yes, Krishna?
Yes, ma'am. Actually,
Yeah.
there is some network glitches.
Okay, Krishna. Ms. Ruchira had pointed it out, but by that time you had again dropped out of the. Yeah, okay. Please go ahead quickly.
Yes, ma'am. Is it visible?
Yes.
हाँ visible है. So my topic is downfall of Indian education system, biggest issue of India which nobody talks about. There are some key points and highlights. Downfall of cultural languages, comparison of Indian education system with foreign, and solution. Downfall of cultural languages. As I gathered information about recently, South Korea and many other nations reduced the percentage of Indian languages in their curriculum like Hindi. It is due to less attention on our cultural languages. According to Times of India, there are potentially 600 endangered languages in India. Each dead language takes away our cultural system. In India, therefore, all the languages are spoken by less than 10,000 people are treated by the state not as worthy mention and treated by the UNESCO as potentially endangered. As we can see the news clippings that Korean university to drastically shrink Hindi languages curriculum almost near to its closure. There are many other languages such like Hindi like Vadari, Kolathi, Gola, Gisari. These are the languages which nomadic people in Maharashtra Karnataka, Telangana. People speak. So why are these languages are important? Can't we let it die? So when a language dies, its speakers decide to migrate first. They migrate to another languages and then physically start migrating to another region. The second thing is their traditional livelihood pattern goes down. They may have some special skills that disappears. Our Asian techniques are dying due to advancement of technology. Comparison between education systems. So here I am going to compare about Indian and foreign education system. Indian education system focuses on theoretical knowledge rather than practical and creative enhancement. For example, from class 1st to 12th, we restrict our mindset and creativity and force to mug up the curriculum. In many universities, the students follow cramming rule and suffer at the time of job or industrial work, as it requires practical knowledge rather than theoretical cramming. Let's study about the old study techniques. In India, there is only textbook learning, but as we compare our methodologies with other nations like Australia and many other developed nations, it is ruthless. For example, US curriculum contains almost everything like sports, arts, theater, and Australian curriculum is more about sports oriented and containing hockey, cricket, and many other sports. So we must change our old style techniques and include sports, arts, creative activities in our curriculum to enhance the overall curriculum of our nation. Third is field of interest. In India, the students are admitted into the streams like science, commerce, arts on the basis of their marks and merit, whereas in other countries it is totally based on the field of interest of students. And the fourth point is degree importance. In India, a good degree is must for jobs. A good degree with less skills can be a good option, whereas a lower degree but well skilled isn't a good option in Indian society. But in foreign nations, it is reverse. So what is solution? Many great leaders like Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam had many great ideas and strategies for the enhancement and development of education system. Kalam believes that education is the most powerful area of service sector as it provides the required knowledge and skills to do the work. So there are some solutions. First, our country must take initiative to make our curriculum learning based rather than job based. Our country must adopt techniques to enhance quality of education. Third, it is not based only on theory, but it also provides moral and practical lessons. At last, government should invest more on education. There is a quote, opting a car loan is cheaper than education loan in India according to Times of India 2011. Ma'am, I completed.
It was a very, very interesting presentation, Krishna. I really liked it. It would have been much better if you could have, presented it full screen on the computer. But it was a very interesting one, and I really liked your ideas. Thank you so much, Krishna. I am happy that you could join, even though it was in the end. Thank you so much. So finally, we do come at the end of the contest. You see, it always keeps getting bigger, longer than we anticipate. It always keeps doing that. Swaminathan sir, I request you for your comments and your experiences. Anything that you have to say to our children?
Yeah, it was really good session, and happy to see the young generation being aware of the current situation of India and what challenges they will be facing or the nation will be facing in future, rather than just sticking on themselves to academic part. Okay, I'm a school student, let me study. Not that. We can see from today's student, they are aware of everything, what are the challenges, what will be there in the future, how they have to prepare. Good to see, and best wishes to all the participants, because unless we participate, we cannot be a winner. So first of all, a big thanks, best wishes to all the participants. Yes, they are really focused. I can say nowadays people are getting intellectually polluted easily, right? We are not able to focus on one issues on a particular day. By the time we focus on one issue, there are hundreds of issues coming across, and intellectual pollution is happening too much. But still, it is happy to see the youngsters focusing on all the issues, and then they are also coming out with some solutions. Yes, the PowerPoint presentations would be done in a better way, but again, congratulations to all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. And that is the reason for this, for providing this platform to them. Exactly. This, Ms. Ruchira Sharma, what has been your experience, and any mentorship that you would want to give to our participants?
Well, I think Mandvi ma'am and Swaminathan sir, they've summed it up really well. And thank you to all the organizers and the students who came up to share their thoughts. Uh, it was good to know what they think and their solutions and to the problems that they think are plaguing the nation. A few points that I would like to make. When you zero in on a topic, I think you should, make sure to not to digress and instead delve deeper into that particular topic. Try doing that, not digressing too much. And numbers, again, I would like to point out that numbers, they make a lot of difference to your presentations, data, charts, quick pointers. So maybe, you can use them more in your presentations, and make sure if you are using those pie charts, those numbers, they are not a small part of your screen. Highlight them. They say a lot. So make sure to highlight the numbers. Then another thing, make sure if you're talking about India, you use pictures of people from India. Like I think one of you touched upon malnutrition, and the picture used was not from India. It was visibly not from India. So make sure you take care and do that. Don't do that next time. Instead, pay more attention to the pictures, the content that you're using. Then clarity of speech, stress at the right points. If you're talking about numbers, your screen is already showing the numbers that you want to highlight. So you should stress on the points that you want to highlight. And but overall, it was a great presentation, and thank you all of you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. These words of advice, I'm sure that it would help everyone. It would help our students to give us better presentations, be better presenters for the future. So that's all from my side. So Shweta Singh I'm really happy that this idea has turned up to be bigger and it gets better every day. Thank you so much, everyone. I would request Mr. Sudhakar sir to finally sum up the session. And soon we are going to, because everyone was very excited about the results, so soon we are going to announce it should be right next week when we are going to announce the result declaration date. And it would be a very grand day. We would expect everyone to join us, all the judges too. If you have the time, we would love to have you. Sudhakar sir, if you could give us the last words. Sudhakar sir was here a minute ago. Okay, so till he comes,
Yeah.
yes, sir. Sir, we would
I'm
like to
really
have the last
sorry.
words for you, from
I'm
you.
really sorry. A lot of work is there going on. So right now, as you know, I'm trying to fix a chief guest. तो अभी उसी पे कॉल आ रहा था और I was trying to get it fixed. तो अभी कॉल आ गया वो. And apart from that, we are having on Sunday the coming program webinar on thinking skills for new India and the world. तो आप लोग बातें कर रहे थे तो उसके पीछे मैं बहुत सारी चीजें कर रहा था, आप लोगों को सुन भी रहा था. तो अभी फोन आ गया तो मैंने बोला थोड़ी देर में कॉल बैक करता हूँ. तो कोशिश ये है, और एक जो है बहुत ही मशहूर गाना पुराना, साथ ही हाथ बढ़ाना, साथ ही हाथ बढ़ाना, एक अकेला थक जाएगा मिलकर बोझ उठाना. तो आप सभी लोग यहाँ पे, मैं हिंदी में बोलना चाह रहा हूँ बिकॉज अंग्रेजी में बहुत कुछ हो गया, तो बहुत ही ज्यादा हो गया. तो मैं ये कहूँगा सभी एजुकेटर्स को, आप लोग गुणीजन हैं, शिक्षाविद हैं, और अगर हम एक साथ मिल जाएं थोड़ा सा समय निकालें और सोचें और इस पे हम काम करना शुरू करें। जैसा कि मांडवी मैम ने कहा कि EQ का होना बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, तो मांडवी मैम इस पे भी मैं कार्य कर रहा हूं और अभी 2-3 दिन पहले ही मैंने करीब 3 काउंसलर्स जोड़े हैं और I talk to them about AQ apart from UQ and IQ, and they are very much willing, and they have joined Youth Brigade of Delhi NCR. So we are already working on that, and बल्कि हमारे डॉक्टर कलाम इंडिया का जो फाउंडेशन है वो है आर्ट कल्चर हेरिटेज along with इनोवेशन एंड एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप। तो ये जो आर्ट कल्चर एंड हेरिटेज है ये बच्चों में संस्कार लाने के लिए ही किया गया है, और संस्कार का मतलब सब कुछ होता है, चाहे वो बुद्धि के रूप में हो या बल के रूप में हो या फिर सेल्फ जो जिसको कहते हैं आत्मबल। तो एक्चुअली क्या हो रहा है कि आत्मबल की कमी हो गई आज की डेट में, तभी तो इतने सारे सुसाइड्स हो रहे हैं, IPS बन के IAS बन के सुसाइड्स हो रहे हैं, सुशील कुमार जैसे लोग आ रहे हैं। तो इस पे ही तो कार्य करना है हमें, और गुरु शिष्य के परंपरा को फिर से जीवित करना होगा, पुनर्जीवित करना होगा। भारत मेरी नजर से एक बहुत ही बढ़िया पहल, और द क्रेडिट गोज टू श्वेता मैम फॉर दिस ब्रिलियंट आइडिया। एंड मैं तो कहूँगा मैम को, श्वेता मैम को, कि इसका एक सीरीज फिर से शुरू करना चाहिए कुछ दिनों बाद, और इस बार जो है हमें गांव के स्कूलों को भी टच करना चाहिए, गवर्नमेंट स्कूल्स को भी टच करना चाहिए। लैंग्वेज शुड नॉट बी ए बैरियर, हिंदी में बोलो कोई दिक्कत नहीं है, क्योंकि वो जितना सोचेंगे बोलेंगे हम प्रेरित कर पाएंगे कि आपको करना भी है, केवल बोलना ही नहीं है, करना भी है। तो ये जो एनफोर्समेंट है ये हमारी जिम्मेदारी है, हमें नींद नहीं आनी चाहिए। हम क्या छोड़ के जाएंगे अपने बच्चों के लिए, हमारी जो जनरेशन आ रही है। तो प्रॉब्लम कमी कहाँ पे हो रही है? मेंटोरशिप पे कमी हो रही है। तो मेंटोरशिप पे जो है हमें फोकस करना होगा, और जैसा कि स्वामीनाथन सर ने भी बोला था कि पॉपुलेशन इज रियली इट्स एन एसेट। ऑब्वियस, यस, आई ऑलवेज फील दिस इज एन एसेट। उसका यूटिलाइजेशन नहीं हो रहा है। आप ये देखिए भारत में क्या हो रहा है कि अगर 65 के ऊपर जा रहे हैं ना तो वो बंदा जॉबलेस हो जा रहा है। और आपको मैं बताऊं, ये जो बिंदेश्वरी पाठक थे जिन्होंने सुलभ इंटरनेशनल का निर्माण किया, he was very close to my father-in-law, and I tell you from very early he was a brilliant guy. थिंकिंग स्किल्स जो हम लोग वेबिनार कर रहे हैं हर संडे, he was reflection of that. My father-in-law helped him in his studies and so many things. And उन्होंने सुलभ इंटरनेशनल को स्टार्ट करके एक नया आयाम दिया। तो हमारे हो क्या रहा है कि हमारी जो जनरेशन है, और बेसिकली जो बेसिक एजुकेशन में उस पर अगर हम ध्यान दें, इन स्किल्स को प्रोड्यूस करें, तो वो जाके कॉलेज में, यूनिवर्सिटी में जाके और फिर इसके बाद प्रोफेशनल में, अच्छे प्रोफेशनल्स में कन्वर्ट होंगे। तो बेसिक एजुकेशन बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है आज की डेट में। कॉलेज में जाके फिर कुछ नहीं होता है, कॉलेज में वो कनेक्टिविटी नहीं बनती है बच्चों के साथ। तो बेसिक एजुकेशन पे हमें बहुत ध्यान देना पड़ेगा। एक समर्पण की भावना बच्चों में लानी होगी। गुरु और शिष्य का जो रिलेशन है उसको क्रिएट करना होगा। तो मैं चाहूंगा कि आप सभी जुड़े और हमारे थिंकिंग स्किल्स में भी आए आप लोग। उसका एक बहुत ही अच्छा एपिसोड हो रहा है हर संडे। मैं स्वामीनाथन सर को इनवाइट करना चाहूंगा कि किसी भी संडे जब भी whenever you get time, and I would like to invite you as a speaker in that we have international conference on thinking skills for new India and the world, and it is every Sunday, sir. And there are people coming from all across India and globe who have been participating into this. So this is the this is the first dot, thinking skills being the first dot connecting innovation and entrepreneurship. If we don't have, yes, if we don't have a thinking skill, how we can go for innovation or entrepreneurship? So that is the first dot, and we are trying to create awareness amongst all the schools and the colleges and the universities. So this we are trying our best. Thank you very much. मैंने आप लोगों का बहुत समय लिया. Thank you very much for coming here on this platform. Thanks a lot, Shweta.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, sir. ये शब्द बहुत ज़रूरी थे. And thank you so much for conveying. And so this brings us to the end of our session. I'm extremely grateful for all of you eminent people, all of our children, their parents, their mentors who have been coming and going into the meet continuously. We've been seeing movement. So thank you so much, everyone, and hope to see you soon again. The dates for the result declaration would be there to you on the groups, or stay connected on our WhatsApp groups. We'll be connecting with you very soon for that. Thank you so much. And
thank you.
That's the end of the day for today.
Thank you.